Dobrý večer, vítajte pri ďalšej večernej diskusii zo série Night of Chances. Moje meno je Dávid Tvrdoň a dnes večer sa tu najbližšiu hodinu budem rozprávať s generálnym riaditeľom Orange Slovenska, Federicom Colomom. Diskusia bude prebiehať v angličtine. Tieto večery Night of Chances, ktoré prináša Nexteria, sú zamerané najmä na kariérne veci, budeme sa rozprávať o firme, o tom, ako Orange zvláda pandémiu, ako my ju zvládame všetci. Prejdeme aj do technickejších vecí. Tá diskusia budeme sa rozprávať aj o 5G, budeme sa rozprávať o nejakých možno rozdieloch, čo Federico vidí medzi Slovenskom a zahraničím. Pre študentov, ktorí by chceli svoj životopis poslať do Orangeu, pretože Orange má teraz niekoľko voľných miest, tak virtuálny stánok nájdete na webe nightofchances.com a v tom virtuálnom stánku môžete nahrať na webe nightofchances.com svoj životopis, svoje CV. Taktiež sa môžete pýtať otázky na slido.com. Hashtag je Noc Orange, teda Noc Orange. Keď dáte, tak môžete poslať svoje otázky. Dopredu rovno sklamem tých, ktorí sa chcú spýtať nejaké, alebo sa budú chcieť dozvedieť nejaké spotrebiteľské veci ohľadom paušálov. Toto nie je diskusia, v ktorej sa budeme tomuto venovať, ale určite vám helpdesk Orangeu aj s týmto pomôže. Federico, welcome.
Thank you. Dobrý večer for everybody.
Okay, so we're in the offices of Orange Slovakia, and it's quite quiet out there. So no one. It almost feels like no one is here. So let's start with the current situation. So COVID, the pandemic, and where are all the people from your offices?
Well, people is last week, for example, was in average 20% of our people in our premises, in our offices or different buildings, and 80% working at home. So it was last week. Between all the different pandemic, we have been in the maximum period of hot period. We are normally 90% working at home and 10% working in our premises. This is the standard ratio when we are maximizing homework. And in September, when the things seemed that was a little bit better, we achieved 30% because we have maintained all this time voluntarity to the people to come back here. So unless was really needed because of his job, we have tried to give some freedom, if I may, agreement between manager and employee to go to office or to continue at work, at home.
Okay, so it's voluntary. It's not like you
yes,
said...
it's voluntary in agreement with the manager. Depends also of the requirements of the job, of course. Okay. But we try always to maximize the home office when it's needed.
Okay. Well, the first thing anyone watching will see, like you're not Slovak, even though you're working for a Slovak company, let's say, even though it's part of a a bigger global company. So there are like a lot of questions that come in mind. But let's start with you. Like how did you end up in Slovakia? And if you could talk a little bit more about your background, like how did you come to work for a telecommunication company? I believe like there wasn't like a 6-year-old Federico in Spain who was dreaming about becoming employee of a global telecommunication company. So it's not like a path someone dreams about. Or correct me if I'm wrong. So if you could enlighten us.
It's true that I was not expecting when we was a child to be CEO of a Slovak company, to be completely honest. I had never think about this possibility, but it happens. And then, well, what it happens? What is my short story, if I may? Well, I am 51 years old. I am married, 25 years. It's important, milestone, 25 years married, and with one daughter of 14 years. I have lived in 3 different countries. In Spain, of course, in France, and now in Slovakia. I have worked for 5 different companies. Different ones, a small one, medium, and big and international ones. So the big ones, because maybe is what the students can understood, was Vodafone and now Orange in the last 12 years. And I have also worked in different positions, not always as CEO. In fact, it's the first time that I am CEO. So in Slovakia, I was not CEO before. I was developed my career in different roles regarding logistics, commercial roles, and financial roles. The most time was in financial roles. And now, well, how to say about I was studying economics, and I was also dreaming, yes, to manage a company. Yes, this was really a dream for me to manage or to be a high senior positions in management in a big or good company. That it happens, fortunately. And now, more to say to me, I have three passions, three clear passions. One is my family and friends, first one. Second is my work, and now my work at Orange. And third is also, take care of myself. My healthy, it means that I like to dream, to sleep well, to have healthy eating, and also doing sport. And in fact, I practice triathlon as my favorite hobby.
That's quite interesting. You say you like to sleep, because usually when like anyone, like the students, or when I read a business book or a biography of a CEO, it usually goes in the realm like, oh, I work until midnight, then I work 4 to 5, then I sleep 4 to 5 hours, and then I wake up 4 a.m., 5 a.m. in the morning, go for a run, and then like work the whole day. So why is your approach different?
This approach is not for all my time. When I was younger, I was thinking different. And I sleep less than today when I was young. And also I remember times in my life, in my professional life, that I only sleep 2 hours. It happens also in my life. But it is because I don't believe that it is the right balance. I think that in the life is very important they make a good balance between, your health, your personal life, and also your professional life. And to try to take the as much good balance as better. To be sustainable, because if not, you put all your energy working, or all your energy in your family, all your energy making triathlon, you'd only do one thing. But I like to do the 3 things at the same time. And to do this in a sustainable way, I need to balance.
It's interesting because when I before talked in the series of these events with some high-profile managers from other Slovak companies, almost everyone mentioned sleep. So it's like, and it wasn't like they were like old people, but they were like still as you in the productive age. But it's like this one thing when you come to realize over time that sleep and someone might laugh like, okay guys, why are you talking about sleep? But I come to realize it's a important topic, and it's undervalued in conversation, and especially when you talk to high profile people, sometimes they did not admit in the past that sleep is something which is important, and it's worthwhile to talk about. But now I see more and more managers talk about it. So that's great.
I think that it's also a reality. It's like when you train triathlon, for example, it's as important training not to train, because if you train too much, you cannot succeed. Huh? So you cannot finish your race. So it really, it's also a question of, again, when I was young, I was not this disciplined. But now, for me, it's as important to work, hard, to train hard, and to be with your family. It's also a good discipline to sleep. It's, again, trying to find the right balance.
Coming back to your, education and your professional life, like, do you have any lessons learned, like for someone like yours? They're like, students are watching us and they see, okay, so like here's a CEO, like, and it's the question, okay, how do you become a CEO? There's not there are several textbooks, like several business books about it, but it's not like there are different paths, I guess. So what's yours? Can you share some?
Well, I think that the best advice that I can give to students is that, discover your special talent. So I believe that every single people in the world has a special and unique talent. My best advice is that discover what it is, because this is unique. So each of us has a special combination of talent that it is unique. What is important is that you discover what it is, and then when you discover, try to develop as a maximum, because you are special in there. Maybe my talent is to be CEO, but it doesn't mean that I am better than you. No, I have the abilities to do this job. So if I have these abilities, and I believe that I have these abilities, my obligation, my duty is to try to develop as much as better. But if you are, interviewing me, you need to develop these skills as a maximum. And we are both great if we develop our capabilities as a maximum as possible.
Okay. Is it also something you strive for your employees?
Yes, I try to pass this message to my employees. It's not the first time. I think that I have repeated this not several times. That yes, I believe that we need in the company to see what we can contribute, especially to the company, and try to do our best. To develop this, because it's the really very powerful combination when every of us give its main talent for in this case for Orange.
When you said like you have the background in business and economics and like it's because of your passion that you are where you are. The question in regarding the CEO is like, is it like what should it be? How much do you have to be a great manager and manage people, and how much is it the business side of things that you have to keep in mind and take care of? Like, could you say like this is 30%, this is 70%?
Again, I think that we need to find as well the right balance. You need to be to manage a company. You need to have a very diversified skills. So you need to be a little bit generalistic, not expert in nothing, but understanding everything, if I may, or try to understand everything. Of course, the CFO doesn't have all the answers, so I don't have all the answers. I have people I try to have people in my team that have all the answers together with me, working together. But I don't have all the answers. But I try to understand everything, And then, of course, you need to understand the business. What is the driver of the business? To be, to serve our customers. And then, also you need to manage a team that fulfill this task, And of course, the management skills are very, very important. Or as well, the communication skills is very important as well for a CEO. But to find the right balance again, it's the most important. And also to create a team when you have all the abilities very well compensated. You need to have enough diversity in your teams in all the dimensions possible in order to all together to fulfill what it is needed to drive a company. Because one people alone don't do nothing, and the CEO alone does do exactly nothing,
When you talk about diversity, could you reveal some facts about the company? So when I look at the top management on your website, it's there. Like I can see how many men and women there are. It's still dominated by men. Is it something which is like, do you have a priority in having a 50-50 maybe sometime in the future? So I believe it was Finland who recently, or no, it was Germany who recently said like it should be for companies in the top management to have 50-50 male and female. Is it something you're thinking about? Because it's usually companies think about business, management, and this is, the diversity issue, and the gender issue. It's something which is, back in the mind. It's not top of mind.
Well, diversity, there are several dimensions. One of these that is very important is people, is women, men and women, okay? Let me, if I may, say to you that, the most important governance body in Orange Slovensko is Board of Directors, okay? Board of Directors. Then there are also, what we call management committee and other different level of management. But the most important one, that has really the power of the company, is the board of directors. In the board of directors, there are 50% people that are women.
Okay.
Unfortunately, it is not the same proportion in all the different levels of management. Then, yes, I agree with you that we are not at this level. But okay, I think that is good that we start for the top. And now in the top, we are 50% women.
Okay, to be honest, I'm coming from an industry like media is still dominated by male, as most of the industries in Slovakia. So it's not a surprise. But do you have like an initiative like within the company? Like is the gender diversity something you're thinking about?
In fact, it's part of when we every year review with our group what is our management at different levels. Yes, we have constantly an objective to increase the percentage of women that it's occupying senior positions. And we are really challenged every year to improve, And then, yes, it's really, my company in Orange is really very sensibilized regarding women development and management and all the levels. Also for technicians, because also the people is that in the engineers was not, there are less women studying these disciplines than men historically. So then it's difficult to go to the parity when also this is a company that there are a lot of engineers, Sure. But yes, we are trying to help in this way. We are trying to promote because, yes, we know that the woman has a special, talent as well that we need to complement. And if not, we are missing part of what we need to really develop a great company.
So actually one of the observations, and it's still in the terms of observations, is like countries now during the pandemic who are led by women are doing better. So look at Germany, look at New Zealand, and so on. And also you mentioned you have a daughter, so there might be that push to think about that also from the family side. Okay, so that's the gender. And in terms of like age diversity in the company, how do you stand?
Well, in age, I think that we are also we have around 10% of our people beyond 30 years, so it's not bad, I think. So, but we are also in different age. But for me, this is sometimes I don't have enough knowledge of this country, But I think that it's very important also to have young people, but it's also very important as well to have senior people.
Sure.
Because, I have read 1 year and a half ago a book that was recommended for a very good woman friend, that it is 100 years life. And it is important for all of you because you are young people. So all of you, maybe you are going to live 100 years. If you take the statistics and the projection of the statistics, or the main audience of today is going to live 100 years.
Okay.
This changed totally the structure of what we have. For example, my father's learned. Because normally you study, then you work, and then retire. And even in the past was people that was in the same company all his life. I don't know what's happening in this country, but it happens, for my father, for example, no? Now it's time to change. Okay, I am in 5 companies and so on. But, in the future, and maybe you need to reinvent yourself 2 or 3 times in your life. Reinvent means that maybe you have different professionals around your life. And maybe even myself, Even myself, before to going to retire, I need to reinvent myself in another completely different discipline that I do today. Because we are younger, today with 51 years, I am younger than my father. And you will be even much younger than myself when you are left to. So, and then, it's because then we need also to have companies that are able to readapt, reconvert this talent in order that it's sustainable along the time. Because it's not also sustainable our social system. We cannot pay the retirement of everybody because we need to work more and more years. And we need to assume this now. So it's also a very interesting dimension that we need to have also young people, but also seniors working together. But this is the important. Transfer the knowledge between young people to senior people and in the opposite.
So you touched one of the things, just to have, be sidetracked a little bit, that you constantly need to, not constantly, but during our lives, we will have to reinvent ourselves. And that actually touches one of the questions a lot of futurists who study the coming of AI and what will be the future in maybe 10, 12, 20 years. So there's the common thread when people think about AI is we will lose our jobs, machines will take over of what we are doing today. And they say in part that's true, but it also means there will be new jobs that will become, and you will have to relearn or learn new things. So in terms of thinking about this, and you just said it's something that is on your mind. Is it something the company is doing? Do you have programs addressing this issue? Obviously you're trying to be more efficient in what you do. So I guess you are including some automation in what you do. But then what happens to those people who, for example, if there's a help desk and 50% of what there was workforce now it's done by a computer. So what do those people do? How do you think about it, and how do you address it in the company?
Yes, for us, one of the pillars of our evolution and strategy and transformation in the coming 4 years is data and artificial intelligence. This is an angle of our strategy that we need to address and take profit of this for the human progress. Because what is important is that every single technology should take profit for human progress in a sustainable way. Okay? And then, yes, it's true that thanks to data and artificial intelligence, we are going to eliminate some manual jobs that we do today, that it is for sure very boring, if I may. And we are going to multiply even our capability to do things thanks to this. Maybe you cannot, but when I was young, when I was 20 years, I had a calculator, and I discovered Excel. For me it was so maybe it's the same for you when you discover, big data tools, ClickSense, for example, and you compare with Excel. Okay.
Different tools, but I get the idea.
But do you understand the idea?
Yeah.
Is because of this the jobs has disappeared? No. We have do much more things thanks to these tools in a more efficient way. And the society has progressed in 30 years. What I have seen is that the society has progressed. I expect the same with our data and artificial intelligence. We are going to automatize and to multiply the capacity of our, our work. And then we need to put more and more space to what it is different from humans, that it is, creativity, intuition, reflection, thinking. And I think that it is great, So I think that is really great. So the human is going to be better thanks to this. But of course, needs an effort for every of us. Every of us, okay, if we are here, we are not going to be adapted. But I think that is even more, it's exciting to learn every day. So I would I have not time to learn this, ClickSense tool, But why not? Maybe I need to also to learn.
Let me push back on that. What you said, it sounds great in theory, but when you go back to reality, like as in any business, you have stakeholders of the company, right? And those stakeholders, like the first thing they're like, that's why they're in the business. They want to, keep increasing their profit. So when you talk like this, I'm sure you appreciate it, but could you say like what that means in reality? Like, could you, for example, give an example? Like, okay, we had to, because of automation, we had to, let's say, cut back on, some of the workforce, and we created a new unit over there. Can you share something like this?
Yes, basically, for example, for us, we are going to launch this year a program to all the people start to know what is the impact of the data and artificial intelligence, basic knowledge, also to understand how you can take profit for your job. Because the first effort that we need to do is to try to reskill our current workforce. This is the first effort. Try to reskill our workforce to take profit of these technologies, to increase the productivity. Okay, and to eliminate tasks that are not, productive.
Sure.
And to introduce other tasks that could make the difference between others. Because again, when you have tools, you do more things that you don't do before. When I take the Excels, I do a lot of calculations that I don't do with a calculator. I come back to this very simple example. So you multiply the capacity of your job. It is the first priority that we do. Of course, this could require an adaptation. People fulfill this, people that don't fulfill this, that they are open to change, people that are not open to change. And of course, you need to look for the common, you need to look for the common progress, not the individual progress. If some people is not adapted, okay, it's his choice. But the company is always open to reskill all his workforce. And then to readapt the profiles to the new, task that it's happening.
So when I compare it, and it's a little bit different company, but because we have the stats, it's quite nice to put it side by side. So when you look at Amazon, for example, in the US, so the Amazon is a huge company. You can compare maybe Amazon to US as Orange Slovakia to Slovakia, and in terms of doing this, like Amazon is quite the leader in automation, but still when you look at the statistics, they have been adding each day like thousands and tens of thousands new employees despite automation. Can you share any statistics like Orange Slovakia? How did your workforce change over the years? I know you're here just like maybe 18 months. You've been in Slovakia, but I'm sure like where are you headed? Like, can you say like, okay, we're hiring now some people, obviously, because the students can go to Night of Chances and upload their CVs and look for the jobs that are open at the moment. But like, do you see a future? Like, okay, we're starting these projects, and maybe in 1 year, 2 years, we'll be adding even more workforce because we see like there's like we will be talking in a minute about 5G. So okay, that needs to develop, and that will bring some new capabilities to people, but also someone needs to maintain all of that. So how do you see this happening?
Well, with this growth, this sustainable and very fast growth that this is looking at Amazon, you need growth in revenues, So yeah, Amazon is capable to grow, not double digits. So, okay, but consistently. When you are in this race of growth, of course, you have more capabilities to hire more and more people to enter in more and more business because they have diversified as well his business in different domains with a lot of very good ability. So Amazon is one of the best companies maybe in the world in the last 20 years. We are not at this level, So for whatever is the reason, because we have not doing our job good enough, or we are not growing. So telco industry now is more or less maintaining his revenue or very slightly growing. So then we are not capable to grow in revenues, and then we need to maintain our workforce, more or less flat. That this was happening in Slovakia in the last 1 year and a half, to maintain flat his workforce. And then, yes, with the people that is taking out, you try to renovate your workforce with different profiles, because people decide to leave for whatever reason. Then you try to improve the profiles and to reskill and to reorganize. But basically, we need to, when you don't have growth, you cannot manage an extraordinary growth for your people. It is part of the responsibility, in the business.
Sure. I understand. So just to step back a little bit from this talk and maybe so you came as a foreigner to Slovakia. Were there things that strike you as like so much different than you used to in Netherlands or in Spain? Like what were the things like when you came here and you say like whoa, or actually you even go a step back, like when the position of CEO of Orange Slovakia came up to be, like was it a thing that you had, like you went for it, like okay, like I want to be CEO no matter where, so like be it Slovakia or like even other country, it doesn't matter for me, like tell us a little bit like how did this happen, like you see and then you coming to Slovakia and compare those two things?
Well, when I was received this the proposition of my boss to come back to Slovakia, I was visited one time Slovakia in my life, and it was few months ago, because I was at that moment when I was in Paris 3 years. I was doing a role that was a very international role when I was monitoring the financial performance and the budget of all the group, all the subsidiaries. And I regularly visit countries to touch the teams, because you learn more in 2 days in the country than in 1 year in Paris, seeing slides, So you come here, you speak with the people, and then you understand better the business, the specific business of this country, than, looking for slides, So when I come here and I discover this country that for the first time, it looks developed, so, I have never visited them. I was also knowing a little bit his history, but you can expect that, maybe you was less developed because you have, start your development later. But really, to be honest, when I see a company that is growing, and also I remember that I see some statistics that I was impressed also when it takes its own independence, has growing very, very fast. And then when I received the proposal, I take, because, for me, the feeling that I was when I was here was good. Also, the teams was very professional. I appreciate the teams that I meet here in this visit. Also, the fundamentals of this company was very good, because Orange Slovensko was really one of the success story of Orange, because was, to be number one mobile operator along 23 years, practically since the beginning. Being a challenger is not common, if I may. So it was really a success story of Orange Slovensko. Very strong company, very strong brand, customer base. It's good operation. So good country, young country, but developing, good company, good. So for me, it was not really difficult to take the decision to come here.
Okay, so there was like several factors that you, I guess, counted in, and so once you came and like you're living here, right? Are you living in the city or outside the city?
I live in the city.
Okay, so you live in the city, so you can tell you how the city feels like sometimes when the managers like to live outside the city to have a little bit peace and quiet of mind after they finish work. I mean, the city is still the city, and it lives. So when you compare it to other cities where you live, like, do you lack, for example, something like there?
Bratislava for me, I have lived. In Spain. I have lived in several places. I was born in Castellón, that is really near to Valencia.
Okay.
And it is a city of 100,000 inhabitants at that time, so not very big. So I was born there, Then I moved to Valencia, and then I moved to Madrid, Paris, Okay, of course, if I compare Bratislava with Paris of Madrid, it's not. It seems small, but if I compare with Castellón, it's big, Sure. So I have, and Bratislava, I think it's a good place to work. It's really quiet for me. I perceive as a quiet city with very nice places, with the Danube, that for me gives a lot of, special atmosphere, this Danube. I like this big, and I run a lot along there. So I think that is good, and clearly there are all the services that you can take in Madrid or in Paris, I don't miss nothing in Bratislava that, in terms of shopping or whatever, that I can take there,
Sometimes when foreigners come and I, speak with them and like ask like, why Bratislava? Sometimes they'll tell me like, yeah, it's as you said, it's a quiet city, and the best thing about Bratislava is it's because it's like so close to Budapest, Vienna.
Yes.
Prague, Warsaw, so like you're in the middle. So like you're not living in a big city, but the big cities are just like 2 hours by
exactly.
train.
And this is another advantage. Yes, I have not mentioned, but yes, it's attractive because we are here in the middle of a lot of countries, and a lot of nice places as well. So I think that for logistic point of view, yes, Bratislava is very well located and have a lot of opportunities very close to there.
So when you came to Slovakia, I guess you were used to go, here and back home a little bit more often than the pandemic stroke, and there were a few things you had to adjust. So it was your personal life, family in Spain, you here. Then it was like your professional life. Like how do you cope with the pandemic and the company and the managing, and also like do you still consider yourself new, or is it already like you're not a new CEO? Like you're like, okay, like I'm the CEO. Like you're not calling yourself the new CEO.
Colin, what do you mean?
Like yourself. Like, do you feel the new CEO, or you're just like the CEO without the new part?
Okay, new. I am the responsible of the company, but okay, basically. What happens is that, yes, with COVID, a lot of things has changed, both for professional and personal life. For the professional, we have already explained, we are basically, I remember that basically we take the decision that we need to go maximize work at home, and we do it practically in 24 hours, go to home to work, and we will see if it works or not. Then for our call centers, takes a little bit more time, but in 15 days we do as well, our call centers that was working at home, and I was never, imagine that we can do it. So this situation forced us to do some things that was unbelievable for us, and we have adapted very fast to do it, and to this remote work, everything online, and was really great that how the teams has been adapted to this new situation, and we continue, because we are now 9 months working in this different mode, and the company works. Of course, we are affected for COVID, but we are quite, okay in comparison with a lot of sectors. So we are really. We need to be. You are in a good position in comparison with other sectors.
Do you have actually any lessons learned of like what worked and didn't work? Like maybe you thought like it will be easy to jump on video conferences instead of like in-person meetings, and sometimes people think that like yes, this will work, but the reality is different. Like can you like share
what
something
I have
specific?
learned is that we will never come back to the previous situation.
Okay.
So if there is something that I have clear, is that we are not coming back to the previous situation. It doesn't happen. I am sure of this.
Okay.
Why? Because yes, we have discovered that in this digital way of working, there are some things that works better, you know? For example, sometimes the productivity is bigger because you lose less time to move from one thing to another. You are more disciplined in your time frames. You save a lot of time going from your home to the office. And it gives, you know, an additional time that you can sometimes take profit for your personal life, sometimes, if needed, for your company. But at the end of the day, it's a good deal for everybody. So yes, I believe that we are in sometimes more productive, more effective, and this, you know, improvement could be shared for both personal and professional life to increase productivity and work-life balance. And this is great. Saying that everything is okay with digital, no. We miss, I think, we miss the social contact, you know, the social interaction, of course. Not all the meetings, there are some meetings that works better in digital, but there are some ones that, you know, that we lose. We lose creativity, we lose emotions. We lose human touch at the end of the day, you know. I was also, we need it, we are human, you need this. So at the end of the day, I believe that in the future we are coming to something that not physical as before, not digital as today, will be something hybrid, if I may. For me, I like this, like the cars, you know, will be something hybrid that you will utilize the digital way when it makes sense, and then utilize the physical way when also makes sense. And then, in fact, we are designing what we call, you know, flexi office, trying to again, to find the right balance between the digital and the physical way of working.
Was there some guidance from the corporate, like from Orange Global, regarding the pandemic, or did you know, all countries had to, develop their own ways of doing this?
The guidance was, okay, think about this seriously, learn from the digital life, and then try to imagine a new normality or a new world after this that try to find the best of both worlds. Physical, it was the only guidance. Saying that every single country has the capacity to, you know, to find the good way, the right balance, because we have also different legislation of labor, not all the labor. So we can never do, you know, coffee for everybody. So every of us, what we can think as a common is that we need to learn and to improve both work-life balance and productivity in the new normal. And then also we try to share best practice between us. Okay, we are trying this, and this is working or not. You know, or people are thinking, because also we are of the opinion of the people. What do you think about? What do you prefer? What are you improving? What you are worsening? What you are missing? And we are trying to take all these findings and then again to imagine a better way of working in the future. But we are sure that in the beginning we are not going to be perfect. Maybe will we never be perfect. But we have this spirit to continue improving and learning.
There was this story in the Wall Street Journal that like many CEOs, when the pandemic struck, and as you said, like you see this as a new future and not going back, because you can save time from, you know, going from meeting to meeting, and you just, you know, dial in and you're suddenly on a different call with different people, and so it was like, you know, kind of an awakening for some of the CEOs and the managers who said like, okay, now we can schedule more calls and so on. And then like after months of doing this, they had to cut back, and maybe now some of the companies have like Zoom free, you know, video conference free Fridays. Did anything like that happen to you? Because like I seen your eyes just go off like, yeah, we had, you know, we could have like, you know, more meetings online.
But you know, it was not my personal case. And I try to, you know, in the pandemic and also now, I try to follow exactly the same discipline than before.
Okay. What does that mean?
It means that normally I start to work at 8 and finish at 19. But I only have meetings unless there are something really, really important or urgent between 9 and 5, with one break for 1 hour at between 12 and 1. This is the normal schedule. So I don't convocate meetings out of this 9 to 5. And we have maintained, I personally maintain this discipline all the time. Before pandemic, during pandemic, and in the future, I will try to do the same. To respect, of course, that we need to organize and also to be reasonable with the things that we are meeting and so on. So maybe, sometimes because, of course, it's true that in the beginning to reorganize, maybe it was tougher, we work more times. But one time the thing was normalizing. We try, and it is also recommended we send these recommendations to all the managers that they need to respect this time for calling, for meeting, and not take meetings out of this time only if it is completely necessary to serve our customers.
So there are two big topics we haven't touched on yet, so I want to get to those. One is 5G, and the other one is your media business, or how you see your media business now and maybe in the future, also in terms like how do you see the telecommunication sector developing in the future, maybe comparing even comparing Central, Western Europe or Europe versus United States. But let's stick with 5G for now. So you came in as CEO and you just came into the big shift, if I may call it like that, happening in terms of going from 5G, from 4G to 5G. In Slovakia, we were for some reason a little bit slow, and the auction for the frequencies for 5G just in the end of November, was it that it was finalized? I know Orange got some frequencies. So could you share how do you first the question is when will 5G come to Slovakia? But really, I know other telecommunication networks in Slovakia are already testing this. Are you already testing it? When is it going to roll out? So we have seen in the United States that there was a big talk about 5G, but all the phones had to be 5G when the telecommunication networks wanted to give them to people, because people were expecting 5G already in 2020, even though the infrastructure wasn't there. And now the situation is people have 5G smartphones, but the 5G is not there. Not all the time, not the way you're expected to have it, right? You're expecting, okay, if the 5G comes and you as a telecommunication operator tell me okay, David, 5G is in Slovakia. I buy a 5G phone and I go home, I go to work, I go to a cafe, and 9 out of 10 times I don't have a 5G connection. So it's 5G, it's not already there. So could you address this? When is 5G really coming to Slovakia? And from your perspective,
Well, first of all, I don't believe that Slovakia is in delay. And let me explain why.
Okay.
Well, to understand 5G, we need to understand two clear phases, what we call evolution and revolution, because it's not the same. What is evolution? Evolution is the phase that we are here, that some countries has started before, other countries later, but when the advantage of 5G is to provide higher capacity in the network and faster performance. Okay, it depends what is the quality and the capacity of the 4G networks. This provides you a benefit or not, right?
Yes.
But let me share with you that in Slovakia, Orange has the best 4G network in the last survey with 25 countries.
Okay.
In Europe. So we have really very strong quality performance in the 4G, and we have more capacity than enough. So we don't have problems of capacity, we don't have problems of performance, because all the applications that today is using, our 4G network today is good enough for the services, the applications that now is in the market, right? So we are not in delay. This is my first message. Another story will be when we go to revolution phase. What comes this? And it is also, it seems, and this, in US is also in the evolution phase. Because US, okay, it has launched before, but there are sometimes, problems of capacity, problems of performance of 4G. So depends of the quality of the 4G. It's an advantage 5G or not. And then we go to the phase, and here in Slovakia, we are going to launch this 5G evolution phase in April 2021. And we are going to start to experiment to prepare between 2021 and 2022 to launch the revolution phase that will be in 2023. Because now is when you have all the technology and all the ecosystem. Ecosystem means devices that will support other different services. That is where really we can experiment that 5G is something more than more speed and more capacity.
So what you're saying is, I agree with you. It's reasonable. Like we are in a country where 5G is good. We don't have problems like in big countries. United States still has like broadband issues in some of the areas, and there's like not a good connection over there. In Slovakia, this is not really an issue. So sometimes journalists, like technology journalists, they have this running joke that like, well, why is 5G for you better than 4G? It's like you can faster download your Netflix show or your music, but in reality it's like not that big of a difference. But the promise of 5G is smart cities, cars which can ride by themselves. So and this is another kind of like a future. So that's also one of my questions. Like, how are you thinking about 5G in this term? Not like for me to faster download the things I'm downloading. Obviously, that will come. It will take. You said for Orange, it will take by 2023. Maybe we can explain that why it will take so much that you have to build up the whole new infrastructure, right? It's not like you can. Even if you took all the 5G antennas over there and put 4G antennas and put a 5G antenna in there, you still would have to triple the amount of because the range is not that far.
Normally, you multiply by 10. So you will be 10 times faster when we are deployed consistently. The network will be 10 times faster than the previous. But the most important is not this, is that what we call the latency. Latency is the instantaneity. So it's the time of response between that you click and makes an answer, the network. And then with the 5G network, the instantaneity is that you are going to act through the network as in real time. So you can be capable to do remotely a lot of things. Remotely, for example, you can drive, a car remotely, or whatever, or something that you can also manage thousands of robots remotely through the cloud, and also link with artificial intelligence. So you are going to manage a factory, through the cloud. So it's really something completely. It's a new world. But you can attend to a big concert of your favorite, group in Korea, as you are there, or playing the match of football like if you are Messi, So living this match because we are really, thanks to these services, to create the instantaneity. And then we can replicate services as virtual reality, augmented reality, and also all what is the IoT world, then we are going to connect everything, and then we can play with robotization, with a lot of really unbelievable applications that we can, today we can imagine, but we cannot touch yet.
So basically what you're saying, like there are things that will come which will take the use of 5G, like these are the things for 5G. But those things you just mentioned, VR, AR, instantaneously being some, those things are still not mainstream. So if you're looking at those things and you look at those and you say, oh, okay, like VR is still not mainstream, so we don't need to rush our 5G? Or do you look at I'm sure there will be demand, there will be demand, we better hurry and build up the 5G infrastructure as soon as we can?
Yeah. Really, this is our mindset, is to build the infrastructure as soon as possible. So we believe in this. So we are going to experiment in the next 2 years until we have the technology capabilities to deploy what it's this revolution area when you can integrate all the ecosystem to really perform new services. We have 2 years, then we are going to try to experiment, to create use cases. Then we can, imagine and also test in a real life what is happening, what we can develop, how we can industrialize. We need also to do this way together with our customers. We cannot do this alone. To imagine different projects thanks to robotization is something that we need to share with our customers in a factory, to imagine how we can transform the processes, with a lot of people. It's a way that we need to do together with others. But yes, we believe that we are going to deploy our infrastructure, faster. Huh? So I am personally optimistic, and also in Slovakia, that that Slovakia could be, if we are smart enough and we find the way to find the right model, we can really accelerate this deployment and Slovakia could be one of the leaders of this.
So 2 questions regarding the infrastructure. The first question is, the United States and the United Kingdoms have banned technology from Huawei, which is one of the biggest, 5G technology, providing companies out there. So how did this influence your, rollout and building the infrastructure? Are you thinking about this technology? Are you looking at other technologies?
For us, this topic is not in our agenda, because we have already decided, for several reasons, to deploy our 5G network with Nokia. So then, we are out of this debate. Now, again, for historical reasons, we decided 3 years ago to modernize completely our network, and we swap Alcatel equipment for Nokia equipment. We modernize and we put equipment ready to 5G. So we have already taken our decision 3 years ago, if I may, before its topic comes. So we are with Nokia. This is our key partner. So we are out of this debate.
And the second question is regarding all the conspiracies, hoaxes regarding 5G out there. Like even I keep getting into my email, different pamphlets saying like 5G will basically give me cancer and so on. How do you like? I think now is already the time where you should be addressing it, like not when it's rolled out. Like I'm sure you have seen what was happening in the United Kingdom, where people were burning the 5G antennas. People were protesting, like when the workers were coming to set up the 5G antennas, they were basically harassing them, like the customers. Like, how are you addressing this misinformation, or how will you be addressing this misinformation regarding 5G? Because it's obviously out there in the society.
I am 25 years as well in this industry working, in the telco. In the 2G, I was starting to listen these stories, of our potential damages for the health. So it's a story of 25 years. I know, because I am in this sector in this year, that there has been done thousands of studies trying to be sure that nothing, happens with this. And never, there is only one serious study that really demonstrates that something, dangerous is coming from this technology. 5G is not different, from the previous technologies. They utilize also radio, so it's the same type of resources. It's nothing different. And, so it's, again, it's not going to have nothing now, till today. So I think that, okay, I respect people that could, feel or believe whatever he wants. It is his freedom to believe this. I am an industrial people and a responsible businessman. I can say to you that nothing is dangerous for 5G. And again, also 5G has, a positive message for the environment, because thanks to 5G, we are going to consume less energy. That this is very important topic for us, for sustainability. So 5G is a driver to reduce, electricity consumption. So we don't upgrade our network for 4G to 5G, we are going to consume more electricity, more than if we don't change.
Sure, but when you have a 5G phone, it consumes more of your battery. So I see that you say, but
no, it's the studies that we manage.
Okay.
We manage that the overall
okay.
The 5G creates an efficiency in terms of energy. It is coming from our own studies.
Sure, I believe. But still, you haven't answered. You haven't said like what are you as a company going to do regarding 5G? You said you don't.
What we
I
are
believe
going to do is to make as much pedagogy as possible to explain.
Okay.
This,
So should we expect some campaigns regarding you explaining 5G?
Okay, we are going to go whatever is needed to that the people really have the right information at the right time in order that any doubt could be covered.
Sure.
What is exactly the campaign? I don't know if we are going to do a campaign, to be honest.
Okay. We will go into the Q&A in a minute until the guys set it up. One last question regarding your media business. So you have Orange TV. You're trying to, as professionals say, you're trying to sell the whole stack. You're trying to sell the internet. You're trying to sell the telecommunication, but also the media business. So basically the whole communication and entertainment stack. Is this something you see more investment in the future, or are you done with like the biggest leap in terms of like how people perceive was when Orange, I believe 2-3 years ago, bought the Champions League in Slovakia, and people had to suddenly change from terrestrial, from the TVs and the channels they were used to watch it to Orange TV. Should we expect more in terms of this, like you investing and buying up?
Yes, for us, TV is an important complementary business for our core business. Our core business, of course, is connectivity, mobile and fixed. But yes, we want to integrate as much digital services are, useful and appreciated for our customers. And TV digital is one of them. So then, our strategy is to aggregate content. We don't produce content. There are some players in US that have decided to create content. It's not our strategy. We are an aggregator. We try to give access to our customer base as much content as possible and relevant for them. And our strategy is to continue in this way, to try to offer as much content as possible that it's relevant for our customer base in an also easy and also, value for money way.
But also in this term, when you're saying you're an aggregator, you're like taking all the stuff that's out there and providing that as an supplemental business to your core business. That also means like in some way you're, for example, a competitor, or you are a competitor too, or Netflix is a competitor to you. Do you like?
No, I don't see Netflix as a competitor. I see Netflix as a partner.
Okay.
So for me, my vision of Netflix is a partner that I would like to collaborate. But Pioneer, Disney, HBO, that, in fact, we have already collaborated with HBO, for example.
Yes, which HBO, yes, but
But Netflix has not come yet to the country.
I know, it's a harder.
We are open to collaborate,
So should we expect also once next year it's believed to HBO Max to expand also to international markets, maybe Slovakia. Disney Plus is also expected to come to Slovakia. So are these things channels you're thinking about, like talking
Again,
to them?
As our view is to provide our customer as much content relevant as possible, and this is relevant content, we will try to find agreements with all these players in order to improve the customer experience of our customers.
But is it you proactively going to these services, or is it more like you waiting for them, like they will come to Slovakia?
There are groups that move from countries, decide what countries they move. So we have also group colleagues that work from these topics. So it's a collective work between our group and us.
Okay.
And so there are different relationships at different levels.
Okay. So shall we go to the Q&A?
Yes, with pleasure.
So let's see what's there. So the first question, I have a startup that helps solve the addressing of clients for Orange. Who should I contact in Orange to present the project? So someone has a startup that could solve some of your issues, like who should they contact?
Well, normally we have guys that has an innovation that, I receive every day a lot of emails presenting things,
Okay.
So we have professional people in the different domains, innovation, or sourcing, that, you should be addressed, So I that you look for this. If not, normally you should succeed if you have an interesting idea.
Okay.
But what we need to understand is we have hundreds of ideas that comes to the table every day. And for my email, I receive every day ideas. But sometimes this is we believe that this is a good idea, sometimes not, because it is very important also in business. It's as important to decide what you do than what not to do.
Sure.
And something you mistake, of course, but you need to select. And this, when you have 1,000 ideas, you cannot do 1,000 projects.
Yeah, but I believe the question was like, I believe you do not want to get another 100 more emails daily. So is there a place on your website where people can find this contact? Or?
Because to be honest, I don't know if we have a special place for this.
Okay, so just be relentless and get in contact with somebody?
To be honest, I don't know if we have a special email address for startups. Maybe we have, maybe we don't. But I don't know.
Okay.
I cannot give you this address.
Okay, that's fine. What is in your opinion the most important value at Orange Slovakia? Okay.
The most important value, well, we have 5 values, in fact, in our companies, that it is responsibility, it is trustworthiness, people-centric, one team, and progressiveness. It's difficult to me to say what is the most important. I think that, again, we need to find the right equilibrium on these 5-1, and we try to do our best to maintain this equilibrium.
Sure. Okay, that's fine. Hopefully that's answered the question. Next, what are Orange Slovakia's CSR activities? Do you partake in them personally?
Yeah. Well, we have a foundation, that is Natasha Orange, that when we do a lot of things. Actually, for example, to give you only one example, during the pandemic, we are putting a lot of focus into help to mental health. Because we have observed that this is a really important topic that people need to better manage now in these times. And we are collaborated with several ONGs to improve this, help to the country.
Okay, that sounds. I'll just explain CSR, corporate social responsibility, for anyone watching and not getting that the first time. Do you have a favorite book or books and authors you would recommend to the future leaders, and why? That's a good question from
I
from
have.
Martina.
My favorite author is Jim Collins.
Okay.
I don't know if you know Jim Collins. The most famous good book of Jim Collins is Good to Great.
Good to great. Okay.
And there are other books, Great by Choice, several ones. So if you put Jim Collins in the Google, you can search all his web. And they have all the materials, speech, articles. I really recommend that you take this author. For me, it's really the reference in management.
Oh, okay.
It's really a reference that I try with a lot of humility to apply in my company step by step.
Oh, okay. Okay. What's the background of the author?
He was a professor of the Stanford University.
Okay.
So he's a professor that investigates through the topics of management. Basically, all his work was investigating along 25 years to compare in different sectors what are the great companies, not great one, and try to see what is the similarities between great and not great.
Okay. Okay.
And to try to learn from this. And what is the common, similarities between these great companies in order to learn.
Sounds good.
It's really an investigation. It's not something, it's an opinion. It's try to really investigate and to be as factual as possible.
So it's really like case studies from different companies and leaders.
So I really recommend this to all of you.
Okay, next question. What kind of trainee programs does Orange offer for young people at the moment?
Well, we have several ones. I don't have in memory all of them, but what we have also from the beginning, where we take people, first we try to, they really understand the company, his history, what is his values, for example. This is very important, that train our people in the values and how we work. And then it depends on what is the domain that he works. We have a specific training for all the domains, finance, network, human resources, whatever.
Okay. Fine. Next question. What are Orange Slovakia's priorities for the foreseeable future?
Well, basically, when we look at our priorities, the main one is that we have been a leader of the mobile market along 23 years.
Yeah.
Clear leader. But we are not the leader in fixed broadband, for example. We are only 13%, between 13-15 market share in fixed broadband. And we believe that the future is convergent. When you provide to the customer both mobile fixed broadband and mobile broadband services together. In fact, this is the trend that we have observed in all the countries in Europe. So, for example, this is really developed in countries like France, Spain, and others, the big ones. And then now our priority is that we want to maintain our solid position in the mobile, but we want to grow in fixed broadband and convergence, because convergence is the combination between both services. And also to add to this, more and more digital services as TV, for example.
Sure. Can we just explain that you said you're only 13% in broadband? That's because there are like many local players. If we consider Orange as being the big player, there are also like some middle, like regional players who have, went to households and told them to, subscribe to their internet provider, to their broadband. So that's the reason why, because that this broadband market is really fragmented in terms of how many different players there are. Like if there is a village, there are villages where you can only, if you want broadband internet, there's only like one option for you. So in terms of that, it's also a question for you to grow your infrastructure, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, and then, I as well optimistic for the coming years. I believe that now we are creating the conditions in the country, but requires the collaboration between a lot of players. starting with operators, but not only, as well the government, as well even other utility companies. It's creating, the right conditions to join forces and to really deploy faster fiber around the majority part of the country. And this is very important for the country, to grow the possibilities of this country to compete in the digital era. So then now, yes, we are working really very, very hard to deploy in the coming years fiber and 5G infrastructure, because it is key for the future of Slovakia.
So you said 5G 2023. Do you have a timeline for the broadband? Like when should maybe like...
This is more complex because it doesn't depend for a lot of factors. But now, what is true is that the starting for the government is really trying to fulfill a very ambitious agenda to deploy fiber fastly as soon as possible between now and 2025.
Okay.
This is a key period. I can say that between 2020 and 2025 is key period to deploy the very high broadband infrastructure, fixed and mobile.
Okay, fine. Let's get to another question from our viewer. How long will you be the director of Orange Slovakia? Is your contract time limited? Good question from an anonymous.
Yes, I have also said to my wife that I have 6 months work. All my life, 6 months. But what is true is that I have always renovated 6 months and 6 months until another opportunity comes. So yes, I have a contract in Slovakia for 3 years. Okay, I don't know if first my company wants that I won't continue, because then I need to convince my bosses that I am the right people clearly.
Okay.
And also, what is the life evolving, but really I don't think about the time when I take a job. I think about what is the mission that I want to deploy.
Sure, but also like
and then
like
the other
fulfilling
depends,
the mission will...
but it not depends of you. Depends also of your what is the company that you work. And okay, I don't believe that I'm going to be here the rest of my life. This is true, but I don't never believe also when I was in Spain. In fact, I have moved to France and then to Slovakia. So I am open, to change and to look for new adventure. But now my adventure is here in Slovakia, and it is a really exciting adventure.
Okay. What does Orange do to keep their customers? How do you make your customers loyal?
Well, I think that we have made really a great thing very recently. Why? Because now, and this is unique in Slovakia and in Europe, Orange has only one simple, what we call simple, fair, and transparent convergent offer. It means that today, all our mobile customer base has the same portfolio of tariffs. All the customer base, all customers and customers of yesterday has shared the same portfolio that you can, see in the website. And as well, and this is, unique, because normally all the operators has, tariffs for 5 years, 10 years, 15 years. We have eliminated this. We have migrated all of our customer base, and then we have a really unique offer for everybody. And we believe that this is more simple, this is more transparent, and this is more fair. And we have also the same offer in all the channels. So you have also the same, good conditions with physical, digital, telesales, whatever is the channel that you work, we play with the same offer. That this is, again, more fair and more transparent. So, and this is unique.
That's actually a very modern approach. I believe people over here and maybe in other countries are still used to, thinking about it like, maybe if I go, to the point of sale, I'll get an offer that's not on the website, and you're saying like, no, whenever you go, you will get the same offer, whether it's on the internet through the eShop or you go to our point of sale or whenever. Okay.
Yes, this is our approach now.
Okay. Next question, what kind of managerial style do you prefer personally? Via strong leadership or constructive feedback and discussion?
Well, really, my ambition that I don't believe that I have achieved, but I would like to achieve, when possible, is that, that the people of my company doesn't follow me as a CEO, follow uniquely a purpose, So we need to align people around a clear purpose, a clear, aim. Not Federico whatever bosses,
Yeah.
Because it's what we can really create a sustainable and great company. So leaders, we are, we are only, people that need to create the conditions for the people really goes for this purpose. So then, I am doing in this way. I try, but sometimes I mistake because sometimes I try to do the things as I believe, and maybe I not listen enough.
This is actually a good point. Let's dissect it just a little bit. So you're the CEO of a big company, and aligned, you said it just like it's so easy to align all the people for the one purpose of the company, but that's freaking hard. How do you approach it?
It is not easy to do it, but it takes courage. But what we have to do is that we have to start this journey, So we have really, around this 1.5 years, defined a clear higher purpose for us that I can share with you. Our purpose, for me, it's clear, but maybe if it is clear for you or not, we will see. So basically, what is our purpose? Our purpose at Orange is connecting people and business with best-in-class digital services.
Okay.
For human progress. Okay. While achieving shared sustainable growth. It means that, of course, our main business is, it's connectivity, but we want to add other services, for example, TV or ICT services in the B2B. But we want that these services contribute to human progress, so we are going to avoid any evolution of the technology that damage the human progress, And then sometimes we also develop campaigns to responsible usage of our services, because you can do our service in a not responsible way. And then we want also to achieve shared sustainable growth. It means that we want to share the value and the growth between, customers, employees, partners, society, and shareholders in a very good equilibrium way.
Sure, that's fine, but that's still philosophy. Now let's put the customer and humanity and the progress of human life a little bit aside. But what does it mean for? So we're now talking to maybe some future employees of yours. So now someone comes into the company, and how do you you have to motivate them somehow. They are new in the company. You have to explain this is our goal, and so how do you approach this from the perspective of your maybe one future employee?
But the perspective, for me, it's that you need to find the way in the company that you contribute to this higher purpose, And when we tried is that everybody find in the company what is the link between this higher purpose and his normal duty. And also, of course, aligned with our values. Because this is a combination between, strong core values and beliefs, and also a clear purpose. The values I have also explained to you before,
Sure.
So because we want to deploy this higher purpose with the right values. So, it's the way that we are going to do, and also what we want to achieve. And then, after this, you need to find the right place when you can, with your unique talent, again, and special talent, to contribute to put the company beyond.
Okay, let's get to another question. Thank you. So another question, again, anonymous. What special perks and benefits do you offer to young people working at Orange?
special benefits for young people. Okay, for me, the special benefit for young people is that, Orange, I think that it's you are in a sector, if you come to Orange, that you can develop a lot of things, I don't think that we have some special, what I believe is that when you are in telco, you are in the middle of a lot of great things. Because yes, we provide services, but we also collaborate with a lot of companies that do as well incredible things. We are partners, very strong one. For us, Apple is a partner, So all these guys, Google is a partner. So Netflix is a partner. So beyond what we do, we are in contact with people that do, all the big, business story that you can imagine now, today. So then gives you also the opportunity to enter in this ecosystem that then you can develop in Orange or maybe in the future in another company, because, a company is not for all the life. But, to start in Orange, for me, for a young people, is very good to start in your career. Even if you want to develop all your career in Orange or in a different position later.
Okay. Maybe let's get one of the last questions out there. Does Orange have an internal and external green strategy?
Yes, we have now green as a really very key priorities. And for us, basically, we have taken a target to reduce our carbon, to be completely carbon neutral in 2040.
Okay.
But we want to reduce 50% our, carbon impact, 50% until 2025. So we have objectives long term, but also not as
2025, that's Orange Slovakia or the global Orange?
It's the global, but also will also have the same parameters for Slovakia.
Does it also mean that you will maybe fly less and take more trains? Is it?
What we want to fit that, if, for example, we have to all our cars should be, efficiently moving to hybrid and then to electric, so progressively. For example, we are also, this morning, for example, we have approved a project that we are also, thanks to a new technology, to reduce the electricity consumption. So now, to reduce the power consumption is a priority for us. That was not 5 years ago, this, but now, yes, to reduce the negative impact of our activities is also very important. And for example, to the handsets. We collect massively handsets in order to give them a second life,
Okay, so you're recycling.
So we are trying to improve these activities to recycle more and more and to have this possibility of a second life, because, this is also consumes a lot of resources to produce really a handset. It creates also a big impact. So it is two examples that what we are doing.
Okay. Maybe the last three questions. What are the main differences between Slovakia's and Spain's telco users? Do you see any differences?
Yes, what I have called is this, that convergence in Spain is, is the name of the game. So 80% of the market in Spain is convergent.
Okay.
So they have together with the same provider, fixed and mobile. It is not the case in Slovakia, that we are more, mobile, fixed, but together there is, less than 10% penetration in the market with these two services together. So
and
this is the main difference.
This is the main difference.
And also, Spain has as well a lot of, it's different mindset maybe that is more promotional oriented, than in this country. That promotional oriented and so on. But basically, the most important one is this convergence.
All right. And we explained that before. What does that mean? In what ways has the corona outbreak affected your sales network?
Yeah. Yes. Well, what happens with corona? In the beginning, we have maintained all the time our shops mainly open. And we have made this for, of course, also with preventive measures. Okay, so taking also all the protective material needed to open this in a secure way. But we have to do it for for responsibility, because we believe that our services are essentials for all people and business. So we believe that in the pandemic we need to to be at the service of our customers, because if you broke your handset, you need a new SIM for whatever reason, we need to be there to serve our customers, because the connectivity is essential, even in pandemic, even more. So we maintain the network mainly open unless we have some, healthy risks. But what happens is that of course the traffic declines very strongly, even up to 80%. And then what we make is try to, that our people not to go to homes, continue working in a different way. So, for example, we observed that in our call centers, the traffic was booming. As people doesn't go to the shop, call more to solve his problems.
Sure.
So then we have not enough capacity there. So then we find a solution to move the traffic from call centers to shops, and then people of the shops attend also the calls.
I have seen that actually by more companies doing the same thing. In this, before we get to the last question, I just wanted to maybe give a shout out, because I remember the first weeks of the pandemic, and I remember the shops or the points of sales that wanted to be open. They needed antibacterial, stuff in there, and it was really hard to get. So like whoever was responsible for all your, points of sales to get there done.
It was really hard to
that
do.
was like that should be like, named the hero of the year, definitely.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so let's get to the last question. What would you recommend young people to study today? Excellent last question.
Again, study whatever you have your main talent. I don't know what is your unique and special talent. Look for it. And then try to apply your passion. If you combine passion and talent, you can do whatever you want and be really the best of the world in this special thing. So really think about what is your talent, your passion, combine both, and then study what fits this.
Okay, thank you. That was a really mindful answer. I'll switch to Slovak to end this. Yes. Thank you, Federico.
Thank you,
Ďakujeme Federicovi za jeho čas. Toto bola opäť ďalšia zo sérií Night of Chances, diskusí s lídrami slovenských firiem. A ak ste ešte nestihli, tak choďte na nightofchances.com, kde môžete uploadnúť, zavesiť svoj životopis a pozrieť sa, aké otvorené pozície aktuálne Orange Slovakia má k dispozícii. Ďakujem, moje meno je Dávid Tvrdoň.
Orange sa zmenil asi z každého hľadiska. V podstate rozdiel je v tom, akým spôsobom funguje predajne, akým spôsobom fungujú zákazníci.
Naši zákazníci viac chodili v minulosti do predajní aj kvôli starostlivosti a dnes cítime a vidíme, že sa situácia mení.
Myslím si, že sme flexibilnejší, viac digitálni. Určite veľkým plus je to, že môžeme pracovať z domu.
Orange sa musel, tak ako aj iné firmy, veľmi rýchlo adaptovať na novú situáciu, ktorá vznikla. Hlavne v prvom rade zabezpečiť možnosť pracovať zamestnancom z domu.
To, čo mi vyhovuje, môžem si manažovať svoj čas. Byť súčasne v práci, ale aj s deťmi. Môžeme robiť viacero vecí naraz. Mne osobne chýba ten priamy kontakt s mojimi kolegami. Myslím si, že v tom sa zhodneme viacerí.
No na druhej strane vídame sa častejšie, ako tomu bolo predtým. Ja som mal napríklad raz týždenne s mojimi najbližšími kolegami meeting, dnes máme 2-krát za deň a bežíme cez videohovory, videomeetingy, takže sa vidíme paradoxne častejšie. Sme v intenzívnejšom možno kontakte, ako tomu bolo predtým.
Museli sme mnohé naše systémy nastaviť a rekonfigurovať tak, aby vlastne táto práca z domu bola možná. Najväčší challenge bol najmä čas. Naše systémy v podstate na túto situáciu boli pripravené len čiastočne. Táto situácia nám ukázala, že sme schopní naozaj veľmi rýchlo sa adaptovať na nové podmienky.
Bolo to ťažké, ale zvykli sme si a samozrejme brali sme to ako výzvu a výzvy treba nejak pokoriť.
My to síce voláme práca z domu, ale môžeme pracovať prakticky odkiaľkoľvek. Kombinujeme fungovanie startupu so zázemím globálnej spoločnosti. Sme stabilná firma, sme silný tím.
Keď chceme, tak sa vieme zomknúť ako jeden veľký tím.
A to sa v týchto časoch cení.